Hi, everyone. Harry Robinson here with Pillars Counseling. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here with a pastor who I met from South Africa because he came here to California. Takalani is from South Africa, and he's a man of God, and he knows a lot about the Word of God, and he knows a lot about humans and human nature. And so I'm glad to have him here today to talk about some of the things that I'm passionate about men. So welcome, Takalani.
Thanks, Harry. What a joy just to be with you and just chilling with you. It has been very, very insightful, the way you look at life and the way you practice life.
Oh, very good.
I
Thank you.
was really intrigued by many things. Our in between conversations
In between
that
conversations.
had no meaning, but found meaning in a lot of nuggets that
Yeah,
were just thrown in, not because we planned anything actually,
yeah, true that.
because those things overtook us in our conversations.
They did.
Yeah. So I'm Takalani. Takalani actually means rejoice.
Rejoice.
It's a South African native from the Venda tribes. And so my surname is Mufamadi, which means water preservers. Apparently, history tells us that my ancestors were the first to preserve water, to create dams in the northern part of South Africa. So they were the farmers and they preserved dams, and that's how they end up with the name Bafamadi,
Bafamadi.
which means water preservers.
All right on. So the one thing that I enjoyed about you that I recognized right away is that you're very humorous. You have a really, really good sense of humor. There are things that, first off, you started saying things that I first, with the language and the accent, I wasn't sure. And then I was thinking, did he really say that? And then it made me laugh because you were being funny. So you enjoy life, which I recognize. And tell me a little bit about what your position is in South Africa, because because from my experience, pastors who are pretty high up in the organizations, those are the guys that most people in congregations look at with, oh, there's pastor, and then they bow
The
down, or
bow.
yeah, they keep their distance. But you have not come off to a single degree that way to me. You've just been so down to earth, just truly a man of God that I truly appreciate. So tell us a little bit about your role.
Well, nationally, I am the first deputy moderator, which will be the first deputy general overseer of the Church of God in South Africa, or also what we call Southern Africa, because it includes other nations that are there. But I also pastor a church in Durban. Durban is the east coast of South Africa.
Yes.
It's a beautiful city. If my friend Bishop Dean was here, we'll be having an argument till tomorrow. Whose place is better?
Yeah, I met Dean. He is a character. I love
Yeah,
the guy. Yes, I love that guy. We had a great time when he was here.
yeah, because they call Cape Town Mother City. I don't know who's the father. I think the father is Devon. That's why I say we'll have a long argument about that, because Devon's weather is so beautiful. It's Californian type of weather,
Yeah.
not Dallas weather.
No.
I was
Humidity.
trapped for 2 days in the snow. I couldn't even travel here for almost 2 days. Having traveled 30 hours to reach Dallas, because I went via Heathrow,
Yeah.
only to be stuck for 2 days
I felt for you.
in Dallas.
I saw you on WhatsApp there. I was feeling for you. Like, oh my goodness.
But I'm grateful that managed to reroute
Yeah.
through Phoenix and came through here, and yeah, meeting someone like you at the conference, it was great.
Yeah. That was
It was
great
really
meeting you.
great.
I felt for you, and I'm glad you came here because it was it was worth it for you to at least know that you're coming, and then to
Yeah,
meet you, even if you were there for a day and a half.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
well worth it. I know God put you in my sights, so
Yeah.
I appreciate that. One of the things that we talked about is we talked about men, and one of the things that I'm very passionate about is helping men, young men, to become men. And you obviously are very connected to a lot of men in your church. And one of the things I kind of wanted to talk to you about and get information from you is about men in South Africa, how they, young boys and young men, how are they being raised and coming up? One of the things we talk about here is the lack of fathers and the
Yep.
lack of modeling for young men. Give me an idea what it's like in South Africa for men.
It's a crossbreed of issues. First of all, is that you find places where men had to leave their homes. They're set up for economic reasons.
Yeah.
They're going to work maybe in another region or they're going to work outside of South Africa. They get good money, but the thing is that the time that they lose in the growing up of their son or their daughter, when they come back, they are like strangers. So even if they take the family on a holiday in their coming back, it is just what I could say. It is like a you, honeymoon.
Yeah.
We don't live in a honeymoon.
Right.
Honeymoon comes once and it goes. So when daddy comes back, daddy got 3 weeks. So 1 week probably he takes us. We go and live in a lush place. That's a 1 week or 2 weeks, and then he spent 1 week with us. Daddy has not even fixed the sink that is dripping, the machine, the washing machine that is. So daddy says, "No, take that washing machine out. We'll buy a new one." So I haven't learned that things can be fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I
that,
know
that
that they
has
can be
consequences
replaced. Yeah,
in young men.
yeah,
What do you see as that consequence? You're saying that they just don't learn, because one of the things that
yeah.
I believe that is one of the deficits that we have with young boys here is that they don't learn how to become men by watching a man become man, walk with them. They're
Yeah.
not initiated into manhood.
Yeah, because we have communities in South Africa also that are fatherless communities.
Yeah.
They don't lack resources, but they lack the fathering authority.
What happens with that? The lack of it that you see.
What we see, even in the community I'm pastoring, we found that some of these young men want to belong to a family. Thus, they join gangs, they get into drugs, and other things that makes them feel like they belong. Because what they're looking for is identity.
Yes.
And I think something that you mentioned, I think in passing when I spoke about nuggets, it's about identity. If a young man does not find his identity, he's going to pick up anything and everything.
That's what he's looking for. He's looking, who am I?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And who gives the DNA? It's a father.
Yeah.
And I'm not only talking about the physical DNA, but the DNA of life.
Yeah.
How is life supposed to be navigated?
Yes.
It's a father. And we can fathers is just the word father, in Hebrew means source. Even though God wants us to be sources
Yes.
for our families,
Yeah.
He also wants us to be fathers, Abba. There must be that endearment.
Yes, I agree with that. I think one of the things that we lack in that source of it is just that we don't have the essence of a father present to be the source of where things come from.
Yep.
We neglect that, and so when the kid is looking for something to be who he is, if he doesn't have a father, like he has his father's name, I am. When I think about my name, Robinson,
Yeah.
I can't divorce myself from the idea that I got my name from my father.
Yes, sir.
And when I think about I'm a Robinson, I immediately think about him. And then when I think about him as my father, I immediately, because he was present in my life,
Yep.
there are characteristics of him that I know if I'm going to be a man, I have to do these things. You know, there's the Real Men 101 that I provide for men on our site. talk about what a real man does. These are characteristics that show that a real man cares.
Yeah.
CARES. And with those letters, the first thing we talk about is courage.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have some sort of identity to know, connected to something, how am I going to take courage? And it's a father who instills courage in a man, in a young boy, so that he can become a man. And when you're in your arenas where you have men that are present, it doesn't have to necessarily be a father if a father's absent, but if a man is present, just like the example you said, a father who is not there consistently, what I've found in working with young men is that if I'm constantly present in their life, it makes a very, very big difference.
Yeah. Now we had a sort of a program, fathers and sons program, where because we have children that come from the rural areas that come to study in the city, so their fathers are not there. So we automatically, as a church, become fathers for them.
That's great.
So when we have this father and son thing, we ask fathers who don't have sons to adopt this son, and we go out for a day on a trail walk, on a barbecue, and we talk, and we sometimes we just sit, share the word, or sometimes we just sit and have fun, joking and laughing. Sometimes some of them will tell stories of how they grew up and stuff like that. And that used to work wonders. It anchors them. It brings affirmation. Most of the time we think that it's only a girl child that needs affirmation. A boy child needs more affirmation that you could ask for.
Yeah.
So it's very important. Even men, even when big as we are, we need affirmation. We need to know that we still are relevant.
Yes.
And we should not shy away from that.
Yeah, that's what we were talking earlier about, the importance of initiating young men into manhood.
Exactly.
That initiation is very much parallel to affirming them. You initiate, you just don't idly initiate someone into, it has to be valid.
Yes.
You just don't get here just because, you just show up. You don't get a degree in school just because you show up. Some people do, but if it's going to be validated, really true, you're going to feel like, I actually have attained this.
Yes.
You're affirmed along the way. Good job. You did good. And when young men hear other men say that to them, and they see them walking in that way, it's like a seal of approval.
Yeah.
And we all want that seal of approval, no matter how old we are. We're moving into another direction. You were approving me on some things that I was saying, I'm not really good at that. And you were giving me some ideas of things. And I was like, I guess I can be at that.
As we spoke about earlier, of when I brought it across that I like the Jewish way, the age 13, they initiate you into manhood. You start to understand issues pertaining to you being a male figure.
There's a passage there.
Yeah. Now, in the African traditions, in different tribes or whatever, they have this, what they call a mountain school, where people get to be initiated. That's where they end up with some circumcision and stuff like that. But then you get bogus schools, where a lot of young people have perished or died because of the wrong way they circumcised them. But you see, it's not only the circumcision that is important, but it's the lessons that they teach them to become men. The purpose of that is to initiate them into manhood. But others are not doing that.
No.
The bogus one, they're not doing that. And so it lost meaning. It lost meaning. Now the church, it needs to probably adopt that and say, we're going to talk with our young ones from the teenage, when they enter 12, 13, we're going to talk to them about issues of becoming or taking an identity or affirmation of being a man.
One of the things that is really critical for me when I think about that is that if we wait, we have not had men in our culture initiated in ways that actually take them to recognize that they are men.
Yeah.
We have these kind of false structures set up in our country, in our society now. But what I've done with my sons and understanding, having read that book, Raising a Modern Day Knight, is that initiation begins very early on. You're initiating them through stages that
Yeah.
are stages of boyhood. And as you move through those stages and you affirm them, the importance, and I think this is what happens in the Jewish traditions, is that they have already a codified understanding of who they are,
Yeah.
what their story is. So this young man is hearing the story of Jewish people from a very young age. So it's not just like they hear nothing and all of a sudden 13, they go into this initiation to this passage. They're hearing it all the while through. And at 5 years old, I started doing an initiation process, a rites of passage with my sons, so that they would understand. At 5, I would tell them these are the 4 things that a real man does. He takes responsibility, he resists passivity, he leads courageously, and accepts the greater reward. So as I'm talking to him about this at a young age, when he does something that follows in that step, you're becoming a man, because a man takes responsibility.
Yeah.
Now his mind is already set. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be a man.
Yeah.
And then at a certain age, and I'm not sure in our society we can actually say it's 13 or not, but
Yeah.
there are those individuals who have different passages because of just their aptitudes and what they can do.
Yeah.
But if they have this mindset that I'm becoming a man and I know what that looks like, there's going to be a passage where now responsibility really goes to, you're responsible for this. And they take on the mantle of, I'm responsible doing this because I am a man.
Yeah. I decided from earlier on with my son to be there in his life. I would not miss his rugby or sports. I would not miss his shows at school. I was the first cheerleader to be there.
That's awesome. That's
But
great.
the one sport that I didn't like, it's the rugby. It's a rough sport. It's a rough. It's like your football, I think.
Yeah.
But it's rough. The way they spear each other.
No helmets and
Oh,
pads.
mercy, Lord. One time I attended a game, and man, this young man make us younger than him, but he was heavily built.
Yeah.
A Caucasian boy, heavily built, and he made my son a skateboard. He's
Made him escape.
oh my goodness. I wanted to jump into that ground, man. I just wanted to. And then I said to him when he came up, "You're not going back to play that sport. You're not playing that sport." Because he came back, he was in pain.
Yeah.
And he puts on the rubbing stuff, and his room was forever smelling with all these things for muscles and stuff like that. But he loved the sport.
Yeah.
And he loved also acting. And I will show up. I will share my skills with him of certain things. So I will go and watch his shows. Now today is a professional actor. Just last week before I came here, I went to watch his show. Now I had to fly to Cape Town, which is the West Coast,
Yeah.
to his show. I was there just for 1.5 days. I flew back just for that. And we were having breakfast together. And he says to me, "Dad, you just came for this." I said, "Boy," now he's a married man.
Yeah.
I said, "Boy, I've promised you from when we're at school, I'll be there." There's no show that I've missed.
Yeah.
From the time, even when he was an amateur to now he's professional, there's no show that we have missed.
Right on.
We attend this show, even if we go once,
Yeah.
just to affirm him, to say that you're doing well. You're doing well.
That's how my dad was when we grew up. I have 4 brothers. All 5 of us played sports, and my dad worked in the evenings. He worked the night shift, and we would have games on Saturday mornings all the way because we're different ages. We'd start early in the morning, and my game would be later in the evening. and he would come to all the games, and my mother would always be saying, "You need to get some sleep. You need to get some sleep and rest." And he was known for going off the road, falling asleep, going to work at times.
Yeah.
And so she's worried about him. But he would say, "My boy's playing. I'm going to go watch my boy."
Yeah, yeah.
So he would come watch our games, and he would be more upset than anybody else if he couldn't be there for some reason.
My God.
And one of the things that I know that did for me is it let me know my dad, he had his eye on me. I mattered to him. I was the apple of his eye. And it mattered. And I remember we'd go to church on Sunday after the weekend of playing games, and I could hear him talking to other men about his sons doing this or that or so on. And he's bragging about what we did. Oh, he took that ball. He hit that guy. He ran that touchdown. And these are the things that I'm hearing from him that is affirming me in ways of I'm seen, I'm cared for, I'm loved. This is where I belong. And it makes all the difference in the world. And it's that idea of having someone who matters to you, they see you. And I remember being on the field, baseball field or football field, and I could just look up in the stands. My dad loved to be on the field wherever he could be. He'd be right there on the field. But every time I would look at him, he's looking at me.
Yeah.
I know he's watching
I'm
me.
secure.
Yes. And for someone to have that, how valuable is that? From the inside that I belong, there's a purpose for me.
Yeah.
He sees it. And so when he talks to me and says, "Don't you know who you are?" There's a sense of validity that I would acquire from that.
I remember a funny story. I think he was 4. He put a cape on. You know, sometimes we be careful what we buy our children.
My son was a Spider-Man outfit.
He stood on a kist,
Yeah.
and then he wanted to fly like Superman. And so he hit a deck, swallowed few teeth, and bleeding. And so his mother's big. And what's wrong? I'm a Superman. I'm a Superman. So we rushed to hospital. My wife was so tired.
Yeah.
Because I think she came back from work, but she was tired. But she didn't want me to hold the child. I said, "Listen here, he is my child.
Yeah.
You don't trust me with this child? He is my."
Not,
you could
not after you let him jump off there. Maybe that was the reason.
In hindsight, that I realized, because probably I left him jump off that thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but then, even that, I would share the story over and over again at church and trying to figure out what was he thinking. What was he thinking? But I marvel at the fact that he tried the experiment,
Yeah.
but he was limited with knowledge. and it's good sometimes to give space for experimentation, but not detrimental ones.
Yes.
We should not, somebody trusted us when we didn't know how to be fathers,
Yeah.
when we didn't know how to be teenagers, when we didn't know how to court.
Yes.
Somebody trusted us, somebody guided us. And that's what is needed. As the Word of God says, you older women, teach the young one. So older men need to take the young ones under their wings and teach them how to.
Yes. And we have to recognize that there is some risk that happens. And generally it's the mom who doesn't want them to be as risky. And it is the father who will extend the risk. Because as a man, we have to try and we have to experience the failure in order to learn something, because we're the kind that we got to learn by how did that work, and we experience it that way. And I know that's where when we talk about courage, that courage we instill, but we might push them a little further.
Yeah.
And once they experience that, we can say, good try, way to go, come back to them. But they have to move out. Courage requires this ability, not that you're afraid, but that you're willing to try, even though you are afraid.
Children have have, not that they don't have fear, but they do not fear
Yeah.
easy.
They don't
They
know.
can climb a tree.
Yeah.
Who's screaming, hey, hey, come, you'll fall? The child does not see fall.
Yeah.
The child see, I'm discovering new heights.
Yes.
And we scream. It's like also what I always say, the cold is what the mother feels. You know, the mother can overdress a child, and the child is feeling hot, is warm. So it's in the mother's heart to always protect.
Yes.
It's in the father's heart to always teach.
Yeah. To give them courage beyond what they
That
have.
yeah, you have this courage to reach there. I believe you can go further. You're limiting yourself.
There's a story that I remember about my sons. We used to go do a lot of bike riding, and there's a hill across from where we live that it's very capable of them having learned how to balance. For them, if they just stay sturdy, they are able to go down that hill. And it was always a transition, a kind of a passage for them.
Yeah.
They would be, no, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. And I'd always encourage them that they could do it. I guarantee you could do it. Just stay steady. Just stay steady. And each of one of my sons, when it came to that time where I could say you could do it, they mustered up the courage, and they did it. And once they did it and was able to just ride straight through it, that boost of, oh my goodness, I could do this. And then when the younger one came beneath him, and I was telling him you could do it, my other son is like, yeah, you could do this. This is easy. You could, and he is instilling that courage because he had it. But there are some times that I've taken him riding on the pathway, and I knew that he could do it. But one thing I overlooked, and I feel so bad about this, there were tree roots that were growing in the pathway that caused the asphalt to go up. And so my son, we're going on a bike ride, whole family bike ride, and he's going down this one hill, and I'm thinking, oh no, there's those roots, and he hits that uneven pavement, and he is going like this, and I could just see it's going worse, and he fell, and he bumped his lip here, and it was bleeding. And as a father, you're just like, oh, you know. And I go to him, and I try not to make it a big deal, but I'm inside, I'm feeling like, oh, I don't want my son to get hurt like that. And he was just as calm as he could be. It was bleeding. He still has the scar right there today. We can see it. And I look and I think, if I had to pay closer attention at that moment. But even that gave him courage once we said, look, it hurts, right? But he got up and kept riding. That instills in him, I'm okay. I can do this. And sometimes we get these bumps in life that are lessons for us. You know, one of the passages that we did when we went their 13-year-old passage, the title of that was called "Preparing to Fight Your Own Battles."
Wow. Yeah.
And the idea behind that is that in life, there are just going to be battles that men have to fight, and we have to be prepared to fight those battles. But also, as men who sometimes get ourselves in trouble, we create battles. We necessarily don't need to fight, but even though we put them out there, we still have to stand up to fight. That goes back to you're responsible. When you're responsible, you created something, you can't just abandon it. You have to muster up the courage to face it as well. And I've seen my sons do that, and I've seen that happen with other young men who I've mentored by being there for them, giving confidence to them, and instilling courage to them when they don't have it. That's what the word encouragement is. We encourage, we're instilling courage so that they can take action.
You remind me of a story that I read of Edison, a serial failure who over 1,000 times, actually today we got these beautiful lights because of him.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently 1,000 times he failed. But to him it was not failure. It was that it was a learning curve all the time, and it took courage to better it and better it and better it. And it says one day his assets were over at $2 million, and his factory burned down to ashes. While it was burning, his son was worried where his father was. When looking for his father, and he found him staring at the fire that was consuming his factory. Now you must know those are thousands of hours that he has spent perfecting designs and all those, they bend down. So he said to his son, apparently, go call your mother and her friends because they will never see a fire like this again. And he ran to call his mother and his friend. He said, the son said, it astounded me that my father should be completely destroyed by this because apparently he was underinsured. He was insured for about $250,000 on the assets of about $2 million. And the following day after that fire, he rebuilt. It said after a year, he had done more than what he had before. But he said this, I'm glad God allows fires so that we can start again. That's what he told his son and his wife.
Wow.
So he had courage to say, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It'll be well again. And I want to believe that your son also, by you hugging him while he's bleeding, by you saying, let me see, boy, and by you taking probably your pure white handkerchief that you value and put blood on it, he started to realize that he got it covered.
Yeah.
I'm safe. I'm safe with him. And it's those little things. You know, the Bible says, it's the little foxes that spoils the vine. Coin it around.
Yeah.
It's the little things we do that makes love
Yeah.
to grow.
That's it.
And for you, it would have been, I'm supposed to do it. I'm a father. No, you left something in there that is taking him into the next
Yes.
life that is going to make him to be impactful.
Yeah. Think about if we are able as men to not look at men and say that they're broken, that there's something wrong with them, and look at them and just say, you just have not been initiated yet.
Yep.
And we approach them with a desire to initiate them into manhood in such a way that we are able to identify, oh, this is what you've lacked. Let me show you. Walk with me. When I take young men sometimes with me to the club, and a lot of men at the club know who I am and what I do. And so if I bring a young man there, I've always instructed him how to have a conversation with some men. And usually I'm dealing with them and they're dealing with some anxiety or some insecurity of communicating. And I just give them some very basic skills. And they get to apply those skills and they see them working. You know, I'm there giving them the nod. And when you tell them, like, if you just ask a question of these men and you don't know what to say, just ask them about something that they're intrigued about, that is you're intrigued about what they're doing. And they'll talk to you and you might not have to say anything. And
Exactly.
And it happens and I look at them and I go, it's happening, right? Because these men they'll talk your ear off if you let them.
Yeah.
And all he has to do is just ask a question about something that intrigued him. And he sees that what I've told him is true. There's a sense of confidence that is like, that is true. But it's spending those what might seem meaningless times with them
Yeah. Yeah.
to affirm something that he says, that's right, I have the courage to do that.
Yeah.
I remember a young man who I was working with, and he was into printers, those printers that print 3D.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was having an interview to be an intern for this company. And he was going to go through this interview, and he was really just nervous about it. And we just talked about how to ask questions that bring inquiry about something. And he told me that he was in the interview, and he applied those skills, just ask questions about things, and they just started talking more and more and more. And he was realizing how they were informing him of everything and how it actually was manifesting itself. And when we were meeting afterwards, he told me how he was in the interview and he almost wanted to laugh out loud because it was true. It was working. They wanted him. They hired him. They let him be the intern for that position during the summer. And I was so excited to hear him be confident that what we talked about, and it actually came true, was confidence for him to actually say, this is right. but it was someone who's willing to sit with him, walk with him, encourage him, instill the courage, and then when he came back to affirm, you are there. There's no reason for you to be afraid to talk to somebody. You have the skills now.
Now, I think what also have crippled our young men, it is the gadgets.
The what?
Gadgets.
Gadgets. The gadgets, yes.
The phone, the laptop. They can be communicating with the world
Yeah.
in their bedroom, or while you're sitting with them in the lounge.
Yeah.
They can be out there communicating with the world, and it also, they feel comfortable with virtual friendship than real friendship. So when they go even for interviews for jobs, they then are limited in communication because they've never outwardly communicated with people to people approach. But they are good on the gadget.
Yeah.
They can laugh, they can tell stories, and they are very fast on their fingers.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to time to manifest in a real life, they cannot.
Yeah.
So I always tell them, you're selling yourself. When you go to interview, you're not begging for a job.
Yeah.
You're selling a skill. Now, if you don't have the confidence to sell your skill, who will have confidence? You need to know what you are capable of.
Yes,
you need to know what you carry. And so, and I think also is that if we as men could help our children to navigate that area of confidence, that that virtual world, it's a myth. Looks real, it's a myth.
It engages senses, so it feels like a lot of things are happening that aren't actually happening.
Exactly. So if you're going to have a family, if you're going to have a wife, you're going to have children, you're not going to communicate them like that, because that becomes your hiding place. You have to communicate with them in that space. And so you find that less and less communications happen in families. Because why? We are hiding behind those things. If we could help our young people to be able to also that, it's a good tool,
Yes.
but it is a tool that also it's like when you are an alcoholic, you go for rehab. You know that in China there is a rehab for that. People go for rehab because of the time they spend on all this
Technology.
Yes. And so if somebody saw that there's a need for rehab for that, how much more? So we need to help them. So it's a good tool.
Yes.
It's supposed to be good to empower you to use it for good, but it must not make you a prisoner.
Well, even the way it's designed, it's drawing you into it. We just have to be mindful of that. One of the things I just really enjoy is when I bring young men together. And I'm known for being very intentional about things.
Yeah.
And so when I bring them together, we're intentional about communicating, having conversations. Even like you were at our men's group this morning, and one of the intentional things that I do is to get men to talk about what's really happening.
Exactly.
So when the question is, what's God doing in your life? It's got to bring something from the inside out. And with young men, when I'm with them, I'm asking them real questions about their lives, and we engage together. And what I found out is that they don't always have someone who's asking those kind of questions. And when I have them ask those questions, we have to put our phone away. We're actually talking, and it's kind of a sense now that when we're talking, if somebody's on their phone, where I'll look at that, are you with them or are you with us? And it's kind of like, well, I came all the way here. I guess I got to be with you guys. So they put their phones away.
Yeah.
But it's not a condemnation, but it's like what you're going to get is more valuable by communicating with us.
It is true.
And I love when they recognize that, and I can see that they've been encouraged to move in that direction, so they're willing to.
Yeah.
I mean, I have guys who come to my house on Wednesday night, and it's not a fun and games environment. I'll make something for them to eat. We'll
Yeah.
eat, but we're gonna have real conversations, and they come for the real conversations. I met one of the guys who comes brought a friend of theirs,
Yeah.
and I this guy, I guess, all day long he just sat in his room, didn't do anything, and he was just feeling bummed about, I have no goal, no desire, and we end up having real conversations that talked about, as men, what are we applying ourselves to? Do we do things that are hard for ourselves to improve ourselves? And we were just having that conversation. I was giving them some things that they can do to kind of take easy steps forward.
Yeah.
And this young man just like, I'm so glad I came, because I was having that question today, and I wasn't feeling good about myself at all because I didn't accomplish anything. When we help young men accomplish something that they can accomplish, and encourage them to move forward. When we talk about what the real man does to care, is that the courage then leads to some action, and that action is they'll take some responsibility.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be responsible, sometimes it's hard to be responsible, so
Yeah.
you have to endure. When you endure, you're really going to find out you're going to make a really big difference in the struggle of life. And when we have men around them who have done the same thing, and they have stories that they can say, yeah, man, I was afraid of that.
Yep.
I didn't think I could do that, but I just kept going, and I did it, and I took some responsibility. And when I was responsible, man, it all showed up.
Yeah. Big companies endorses sportsmen. Why?
Good.
They endorse them because they believe that they carry a name. The Bible says your name
Yes.
your is more important than even the most expensive mineral.
It's valuable. A good
So-
name.
What are you doing? You affirming the name. You're giving meaning and power and authority and true identity to the name.
And it's got to have some girth behind it. It's got to have
Yes.
something behind it.
And to say, listen, you're not the first one that have run this race. There are those who ran before you.
Yeah.
And I see some potential in you that you can do it. You can do it. And you know, sometimes I was watching you with your grandson. You know, he that guy. You don't need a gym.
I know.
You don't need a gym. He's a gym himself. He's energetic and stuff. But as I said to you, you know, you bring out of him the best, and he's secure in that. You know, just your voice yesterday, just your voice, it tickles him. He just want to be you. He just want to do whatever he can do with you. What is it that have made him to have such confidence?
Being there with him, being there, affirming him.
Affirming him, making, when he was probably starting to walk, he used to fall, you used to pick him up. Sometimes you used to let him fall and look the other way. Not because he didn't care, but you didn't want to make him think that, you know, to fall is the wrong thing.
Yeah.
A righteous man falls 7 times, but had common sense to wake up every time. What made him righteous is not the falling,
Yeah.
it's the confidence in God.
That's right.
And so,
Get up.
so we need to bring this generation of young people to realize that there's nothing wrong in falling.
Yes.
Because where are you going to get action from
Right.
if you don't fall?
Exactly.
You know, where are you going to get a story from
that is
if you
it.
don't fall? Rise up. The most important thing, rise up. Have the courage to rise up. They will laugh, but have the courage to laugh. They will scorn you. Have the courage to rise up. They'll make a mockery of you. Have a courage to rise up. So you don't worry about what other people are saying. You know, people sometimes, they laugh at us, they scorn at us, they make a joke out of us because they desire to be us.
That's what we're talking about when
Yeah.
someone can't do something. and they're afraid or they are bearing shame, the only way that they can deal with that is to somehow put that other person down.
Exactly.
And like we said, even for them, I believe it's not that they're necessarily broken, something's wrong with them.
Yeah, yeah.
They just have not been given the initiation to say, you can do that well.
Yeah.
You can move into this place. So when I talk to men, I'm always looking for where were they not initiated? Where was the missing part that somebody didn't say to them, you're going to be okay? And because they were afraid to get back up. And so what did they do? They scurried around to something else, and they didn't actually approach that part that they failed at because somebody said, you're no good at that.
Yeah.
And every time they go to approach it, they feel that shame. But if they get people in their lives, even not only just young men, but men who are in careers doing things and still feeling like I just haven't got to that point yet, and they're bearing this load. That's why we need men.
Yeah,
Our lives.
they are in those careers because they want to prove themselves. They want to be pat on the shoulder to say, "You good." Because why? I want to prove my father wrong. I want to prove my mother. I want to prove my teacher wrong. I want to prove my professor
And
wrong.
they go about it the whole destroying
Wrong
way
way.
instead of the growing way.
Yeah, because the father, my mother, my teacher, my lecturer said, I'm not good. I will amount to nothing. I'll be in the streets. So I want to prove them wrong. And I do this thing, even if I don't like the course, I'll do it to get this degree and finish it. The job I'm going to do, I'll endure it. I'm not going to enjoy it because it's not something I like. But it's just to pause and say, whose life is this? Whose life is this? The thing is that's what they saw. There's an elder at our church, Trevor Skippers. He's an elder at the church I'm pastoring. He was told, you'll be in and out of jail. You'll amount to nothing. And he likes making this joke. He says, yes, I was in and out of jail. Not taking myself, but taking others. It's the police. It was police.
Flip that around.
Taking others, to prove that I don't have to live on, your circumstance is not your name. The fact that I was raised by a single mother, it's not my name tag.
Yeah.
The fact that my mother was a prostitute is not my name tag. The fact that my father was a murderer is not my name tag. The fact that my father was abusive is not my name tag.
It doesn't have to be sealed on
No.
them. But if they don't get the right intervention with someone, it's very easy for someone to go, it must be.
Exactly. And that is where you're saying that, where were you not? Where did it begin?
Yeah.
There's an artist in South Africa. His name is Ray Peary. God bless his soul. He's a jazz player, a profound guitar player. He passed on. They've got a song with his team called Stimela. Stimela means train. And then the track goes like, tell me, where did we go wrong? Sometimes we need to confront where we went wrong. Where did we fall? The Bible says you can't fall here and go and wake up there. Right there where you fell, rise up. And that is what you say. What is it that you were not initiated in? Let's start there. Let's not start blaming.
Yes.
The woman you gave me. When I gave you a woman, you never complain, Adam. Now that the things went wrong.
Hey, Adam, where are you? It was her.
It was her. Now look at what he caused for us. Now, God used to give us women for free. Now, God says whoever finds.
Yeah. He brought a woman to you. Now you got to go find her.
I'm going to find them. But you see, I like that where you were not initiated. But the things that men are the most difficult people to open up. It takes long for a man to open up. A woman, you can just say something, they'll tell you a whole host of things. But men are very guarded. They
I think
think,
it's the issue of being shamed. Men are much more shamed in our society. It doesn't mean that women aren't shamed, but what we've learned is that shame makes you hide, 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 hide. The more shame, the more you hide. And when you hide like that, you don't go back to that
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you stay away from it. You keep a cover over it, and you'll live your life in all kinds of other adaptations
Yeah.
that will have all its deformities in it because you won't go back to that place to rise up from that place.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole reason why it's so important to repent, to confess your sins. I think confession brings you right back to that place to deal with that mess and then turn from that place and go somewhere else. Because if you never come to the confession, you're not turning from that place that has trapped you. That confession says, that's it. It's opened up. You're free. You're standing up from the failure of that and knowing I'm free from that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not connected to me. And once you do that, there's freedom that ends up happening. And that shame, you don't have that same shame because it's now looked at and you realize that didn't kill me. I'm still alive.
will that probably, and I'm asking this question with tongue in cheek, strange English, isn't it? Tongue in cheek. Where will the tongue be? Now, will that not be the fear of a position of being a priest in your home? Because God says we are a royal priesthood. We are priests in our homes. Will that, what you're saying, not be a platform where we fear to become priests because we think we don't have it. We don't have capacity. I'm a failure. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. We defined ourselves with what had happened where we were not initiated. Our courage has been depleted. Our identity has been shattered. Will that be maybe the cause?
Well, that's a very good question. And I'm thinking back at Adam. We can say, did God give him what he needed? I would probably say God told him and gave him what he needed. But what I think changed it is Adam replaced God with Eve. And when he
That's profound.
replaced God,
Repeat that. That's profound.
I think
That's
Adam
profound.
replaced God with Eve. And when he wanted Eve, he didn't want to disrupt Eve in what she was doing. This is what she wants. And so he just stood there. And that's the passivity of man, that he has to say, my tendency is to be passive. And if I'm passive, why am I passive? I'm passive because I kind of want something else. I really like you gave me this gift, God, and I like her. I want to keep her. I want to give her what she wants. And that was the first inclination for.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm just thinking of this now. That wasn't a sin of Adam at that moment, but it resulted in a sin of Eve because he didn't come and say, Eve, this is not what God said for us to do. And so the consequence, it affected each of them. That's one of the reasons when I really look back and say for young men, we have to resist this urge to be passive.
Yeah.
It is because I want recognition, but from you, that person over there, I want them to see me and recognize me, so I won't say anything. Or I don't want to be condemned by this person, so I don't say anything. Instead of realizing I'm a child of the King, and the King bids me to do kingly things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I choose to stand and do kingly things, I do it out of righteousness, and then I gently come in and say, we don't do that.
Yeah.
And if Eve had just simply said, I don't care, I want to do it anyway, it would have been totally on her
Yeah.
at that point. And sometimes I wonder now when men stand up and the wife said, "I'm gonna do it anyway." It's like, what would have happened anyway? No.
Yeah, it reminded me of David, isn't it? I mean, David was like that, passivity. Here, Amnon raped Tamar, half brother,
Yeah. He did nothing about
and
that.
and he did nothing. He was told. Tamar goes to her brother Absalom, and he says, "This is what he did," and he hid at home for her shame. He also didn't do anything, but something was brewing.
Yeah.
Something was for 2 years. So probably he was waiting to say, as a son, let me see how my father leads the family.
That's a whole
And
great story.
for
about
2 years, David says nothing about the rape. Neither does he say anything to discipline his son,
Yes.
Amnon.
Yeah.
Absalom, on the one hand, he's looking at his father, he's looking at his stepbrother, and he's looking at his sister. And every day he comes home, probably sees his sister coiled in pain. And the Bible says then he planned the best of parties. And in that party, he made like a love Amnon to bits, made him so drunk, and killed him.
Yeah.
Death would not have came into that house
Yeah.
if David could have
Stood up.
stood up.
Yes.
And you know what it told Absalom? You can also take his throne.
Yes.
He's not king enough.
Yes.
So what did Absalom do? He started to go
Create a
among
revolt.
his father's top brass and say, come on, guys, I can lead better. He fails to lead his own home. I can show you how to do it. David had to run, as a king, had to run away from his son.
Yeah.
Why? It started when he was passive.
Yes.
And instead of taking that position of activeness, and I love that, what you say, that passivity.
Yeah.
It's not a badge of honor.
Not at all.
It's a badge of dishonor. And if we could, as men, rise up from just being passive, and we're not talking about the
Aggressiveness.
abusive.
Yes, that's right.
No, we're not talking about that. Correction is not destructive. Punishment is.
Yeah.
Punishment is like judgment.
Yes. But correction just moves and guides.
Exactly.
But with correction, there is some pressure. Pressure still happens.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid of the pressure,
Yeah.
but you apply it appropriately.
Yeah. And I think that sticks well.
Yeah.
And men out there who are listening to us, we applaud you that just be a man.
Yeah.
We're not saying you're not a man. What defines us is not our clothes.
Yeah.
It's a heart. And I think if our heart will be right, in that position of being man, it will make a vast difference in many people's lives. Your neighbors, your colleagues at work, people at church, if you go to church, people in the community where you are a sportsman, they'll honor and respect you because they see a man of courage, a man of action, a man who's initiated, not to make a difference in your four walls, but to make a difference in your community.
Right.
There's an African saying that says, it takes a community to raise a child.
Yeah.
And I think we need to go back there as human beings, that men, you don't be just a father because you got a child, DNA child, but father somebody with love, guidance, wisdom, somebody that has missed that fathering, and you got the capacity to do so, to father them. We're not asking you to give them money to buy them clothes. We're saying be there emotionally, spiritually. Just be present to help. As you're doing with young people, and And I hope you mean what you're saying, that you would want to bring some of them to South Africa. It'll be good.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that.
I took a group of them to Jamaica, and it's about time for us to prepare for some other adventure. So
Yeah.
we really would love to do that.
Uh,
I love that. I love that you talk about community, because one of the things about what I'm really interested in doing with what I do with Pillars is to create a real community. Because we say it takes a community to raise a child, but a lot of people don't know how to engage in the community. And what Pillars is looking to do is to take young men, grown men, people who can resource things, to create this community. To say, I can provide this, I can provide this, I can do these things, where it's consistently, we are looking at initiating these young men, not just these young men, the men who are a little older who have just not been initiated.
Yeah.
And that is an opportunity to give them the ability to say, for what you have learned, let's walk with these guys, and we're going to show. So there's this integration that really happens in a very practical way. It means involvement. One of the reasons why I'm not just a therapist and I do what I do as a pastoral counselor is because I can engage in real relationships, real connectivity, and bring people from different areas to say, this guy needs a model who does this. There's one young man who was very interested in building things and doing things with his hands in construction. And I knew a firefighter, having been a chaplain and a firefighter. He's the one who got me to being a chaplain. He retired and started doing woodwork stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a really salty man. It's just like he's a salt of the earth kind of guy. And this young man was like, he's interested in this. And I said, could you just hang out with him, let him work with you and do some things with him? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? He brings him in, and the two of them now are working. He's an Asian young man, and this other guy, and he calls him his little grasshopper, because he learns every little things he does, and he loves being there because he has learned things that he never thought he would be able to learn. He doesn't have a father, and this guy has taught him things. So he told me just last time I saw him, he says, I went to my grandfather's house, and his drawers and cabinets were all messed up, and I literally took them all apart and rebuilt them together because of what he had learned being with this man. And now he's going out on jobs with him and doing it. So that community came together for this young man. This is going to mean something further on in his life. It's not going to be something that is simply dismissed. So when I talk about real men, that real man, how a real man cares, he has courage, and he needs someone to help encourage him. He takes action, and he needs someone to help him find out where in the direction, where do I go? What do I do to take that action? And he has to remain responsible. Hey, you're a man. We expect you to be responsible. And he told me one time that this young man who was helping him, he was kind of worried about some things he wasn't doing. I said, confront him. Tell him if he needs to be responsible, tell him. And he approached him and told him, and I know that he knows a real man has to be responsible. And all it was is just a reminder to him, this is what I need to. And he said he just bumped it up like several stages. And a real man has to endure. When it gets tough and you want to quit, we don't quit. We keep going. We get up again. We get up again. We get up again. And the one thing at the root where the S is, that a real man submits.
Wow.
So all of this, we think this means no, he submits to a greater authority. And once we understand that our submission is to God and to his authority, it places our posture in one. When Jesus came, what did he say? If you want to be the greatest, become the servant of all. So in this submission to God and all of these things, being courageous and active and responsible and enduring, I've got to submit to what God shows me, so that I put this all under a umbrella where I'm actually caring for the people that God puts under my influence. It makes a world of difference. And if we can do that with young men, we're really going to initiate them properly into manhood.
I believe that God has given you this vision of pillars to raise real pillars. Today I was in at the Catholic church that was built maybe in 16 something or 18 something. I look at some pillars that are still standing.
Yes.
Some have crumbled because of earthquake, but some are still standing. And when I saw the pillars on the cap, now mind you, this cap that you're seeing here is P and those two stripes, not exclamation mark. Those are pillars. P is for pillars. So I believe that God has given you this dream, this vision, you to restore pillars.
Yes.
Because if pillars are restored and and part of this church where we went and we're walking around, they've got some tension wires
Yeah.
to hold the walls, which means that if any earthquake could happen, probably they will be able to sustain that again. So this pillar ministry is going to be able to stand and make this young people and men, including the men that I was privileged to have to sit with. This I learned a lot at the fellowship this morning. It was so beautiful, just so relaxed.
Yeah.
Ed and
My man
I
Ed.
just enjoyed him. It looks like he just woke up in his robe and he had to go away, prepare himself, come back, and
Yes.
continue.
It's a natural environment. This
Very
is being
generic.
real. Yes.
Very generic. And I believe that also pillars it seems to have that DNA of just being generic.
Yes.
And I believe that some of the things you will do now, in the next 20 years, you're going to meet fathers who went through pillars, who were told that you will amount to nothing, that would come and say, just one word from you, sir, has made me to be who I am. And that same word, I'm telling my child.
Yes.
Because sometimes when we have this kind of ministry or we have this time of us organizations, we just look at them as saying, I'm just doing a service. But we don't think of a prophetic service.
Yes.
I believe that this is prophetic. The name is prophetic. And because you're not raising flimsy young men, you're looking at where they have fallen and rebuild those pillars again. Because they're the pillars of the society. These are pillars of a nation. These are pillars that are going to bring generations into being, because it is our DNA code in that child. We with our spam code, we can be able to say this is going to be a girl or a boy. That's a grace God has given unto us, and these pillars are going to do that.
Yeah. And it's like what you said earlier. It's men are the source.
Yes.
Male the source. And a pillar is a source in our society. That's the way God just ordained it.
Yeah.
For safety. One of the conversations I have with my daughter one time, and because with your children, sometimes they think everything you say, you're always telling them what to do. And we were having this conversation. I said, Joey, I'm just a pillar. I'm just going to be here. This is where I am staying. You can go and you can come back. You can go and come back. You'll always know this is a safe place. These pillars are sturdy. And if men, fathers, are that kind of a source of sturdiness, their children are going to come and go. But when you come back, like you were saying the example of David, David at that time was not pillar. So his children can come and go and know, well, that's the right way. Well, that's the right way. And always be corrected, not by necessarily being told, but that this pillar is not moving. And if I come under it, I'm going to be safe. These walls are going to keep me safe.
My daughter was very clingy. She always, even when we used to walk in a mall, she will hug me, and you should just see
Just as a
people.
dad, you just love that. Anyway.
You just see people looking at you like, oh, is that his daughter? Is that his girlfriend? But I just love that. That. I mean, she's a daddy's girl. One time when she was at high school, they said, "What type of a man would you want in your life? And she told the teacher, somebody like my daddy.
Yeah.
And she came back and told me, you don't know how much it spoke into me.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I know how that would feel.
I felt so good that, man, it means that I am modeling something in the life of this girl that she feels that it must be perpetuated.
Yeah.
And I believe, Harry, that Pillars it's going to break boundaries.
Yeah.
As you take this young man even to other nations, you might be shocked that Pillars can go to those nations.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be meeting and sharing this story, and people are going to be impacted by the story and say, how can we extend your roots?
Well, this is why I'm glad I met you. You know, yeah, you are one of the men that, and I really think this is quite ordained in very significant ways, because even in this time of being able to talk with you, you have inspired and encouraged me in a very important time in my life. And so I do believe that God is opening doors and he's moving me in directions and he's freeing me to do what he's called me to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been an endurance race, and I've been enduring and I've been watching and just trying to stay steady.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I want my daughters to be able to look at me and say, I want a husband like that. And I just recently was having a conversation with my daughter, and she said that. She says, I'm now looking for a man who I know is going to follow God, no matter what it takes, no matter what happens. He's going to stay steady. And she says, I've seen you do that. I've seen you be corrected. And I've seen you change. And what more do you want? Say you didn't see a perfect man. You saw a man who depended on the God who he trusts, and that the God who he trusts has been faithful. That's what I want them to know and to see. Don't look at me as a man that's perfect. Look at me as a man who's dependent upon a God who is very perfect, and he will not let me go. He's the Father that sees me and makes sure I'm gonna get there. Just keep going.
Yeah,
I see you.
Yeah. I think sometimes we as men, we don't look into our rearview mirrors. We're always looking forward. And that is why you don't see what others see in you. You got so much in you, quality-wise. And at the same time, I'm not talking only about the therapy and all that ministry that you're busy with, but Harry the person. You got so much that the Lord has invested in you, and you got such great wisdom to be able to express it and to be able to open yourself to it. And I was, if you realize this morning I was quiet, you always provoke me to come in and say something, because I was listening to how you spoke to this man, and you draw them into the conversation if they were not coming in, and how you were able to do it with wisdom, that they were not even aware that there was a hook that was thrown in the water, and they were being brought to a point. But you did it with such grace.
Thank you.
Such strength and such conviction that you were giving also confidence to everyone that was on the platform. And that, it's not just normal. It's supernatural. It's not just a skill that we get from the books. It's the grace that the Lord has endowed on you. And every time when God gives you something great, it'll face opposition. And as you say, that care, that endurance, it's what you go through for what you carry.
Yeah.
And because it's not about you, it's about where you're going and who you have to shape as you go.
Yeah.
The trajectory is not downward. Might feel downward sometimes, but it's not downward. It's a gradual upward trajectory. But because you are running the race, you don't feel like you're going up. You know, you don't feel like you're going up. I live in Durban. There are some slopes that are very steep. There are some slopes that are gradual. You don't see the slope. You feel it on your calves. You don't see it. But your calves will tell you now you are on a slope. Your chest will tell you now you are on a slope. But then you hit and your calf relaxes. Same road. Your calf relaxes. What happened? You were not realizing it was a steady climb. And the fact that not only are you enduring, but knowing how to submit to God in the way that you know how. In a way that is so simplified, makes a great difference.
I've been reading in the book of Job, and right now it has, you go through seasons of when you read it, and you're in a different season, so things hit you a little differently. And one thing that about Job that has hit me is he has lamented, he has said what was on his heart, he has questioned, he has inquired of God, but all the while he still has his firm grip on God, and it the vision of that was so clear to me. Is like I can complain and talk about this and how this, but I got a firm grip on who he is, and I'm not going anywhere. And so when you look at the arc of that whole the whole book, he's had his grip the whole time until he comes to the very clarity where God speaks to him and he realizes, oh yeah, that you're exactly who I knew you were, and I just wasn't thinking about it, and I was going through it, I was experiencing it, but he is who he is, and I guess if more than anything that I would want my kids and the people who I talk with to get a grip on, know who he is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who we are.
Yeah.
If you know who he is, you're going to go through all kinds of just keep holding on to him. It will make all the difference in the world. And this is where I'm trying to get all these young men too. One of the things I don't want to omit is I always want them in the Word of God.
Amen.
I want them to, don't just listen to me. I want you. Are you guys reading the Word? Are you guys reading what it says? Because we can get so distracted with books and what people say on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and we can get swirled in all of that. And I'm always going back to, well, what does God's Word say about that? And I was talking to a young man the other day, and he was saying about how, yeah, I need to just go back to the Bible. I'm not reading the Bible. And he was feel like how disturbed he was about all the other stuff. And he said, I just need to go back to reading the Bible, because when I read the Bible, I feel assured, comforted. And that's what it gives us. It tells us who the God is that we serve.
Like the statement he says, though he slay me, yet will I still
serve him.
And then the Message Bible says, I know he's going to slay me. Now, can you imagine knowing, and though he slay me gives me hope that I don't know much.
I might not.
But I know he's going to slay me.
Like that was a thought that I had the other day about betrayal. And I was thinking, well, I haven't been betrayed like my Savior who went to the cross and was betrayed to death. But even the death, would I still hold on to him? Even if I know that yes. And even so, one of the things that is so beautiful about the Jesus, the Savior, is he even washed Judas's feet knowing he was going to betray him. Yeah. And the love of a God like that is assuring. That's exactly what I want to be. I want to be one like that. Not hold any grudges against anybody for anything, because I've been forgiven so much.
Yeah.
Why would I not forgive? And then if I can forgive in that way and show grace, perhaps this love of God can be then transmitted to them to say, you loved me like that? Wow, there must be something to that.
Yeah.
So I love him.
The thing what I love about God, Jesus has not even started ministry. And God says, This is my beloved son, on whom I'm.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't done ministry.
Yes.
He hasn't shown any interest in investment. And God says, I'm well pleased.
Yeah. There's a song that I wrote that has those lyrics about that. It says that you call me beloved before I've labored.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
and you view me higher than I see myself in a way. It's like you see me above the way I even see myself. I'm beloved to you, and you look at me with this amazement. I don't even see myself
Yeah.
that way.
Fearful and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
The apple of my eye, precious by my side. Huh? That me?
Could you imagine giving that identity to someone when they say, my father is very good at this. He would go places and do things, and you're like, you can't get into there. And he would say, don't you know who I am? I'm the child of the king. If he wants me in there, I'm getting in there. And I'm telling you, it was uncanny. My dad would get into places with 6 kids in tow that you would just not believe. And he would just say, see? And we'd be like, oh my goodness. and there's an adaptation that I got with that, because I recognize if he's the king and I'm his son, he's going to give me what I want. And
Yeah.
we were looking at this house, the house that we're in, that I live in now. The way that we got there, I had my kids with me, and we were going up on this top of this hill. And I said, kids, let's pray that God leads us to the house, because we were looking at it for a house in our city.
Yeah.
And we're there, we're praying, and the kids look down, there's a park there.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's go to the park. And they wanted to run down this big hill and through all these bushes. And I go, no, we'll get in the car and drive around and go and find it. I couldn't find the park. It was like I was going around, I just couldn't find it. And there was this one street that said no outlet. And I was thinking, okay, it was a big park. It couldn't be on this street.
Yeah.
So I'll turn and go here. I turned here around the corner, big, huge, beautiful park. And then we parked right in front of this house. And it was a house for sale. And I was like, mate, let's look at this. And so I took the flyer out of there. At the time, we were looking for a house that was $100,000 less than this house.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? I'm the king's kid. If he wants me to have this house, we'll have this house. I ended up calling the realtor. The realtor comes around the corner when we scheduled a meeting to meet. Come to find out that realtor was the husband of a lady who worked at the job that I worked at, and she had said to me weeks before, Harry, you should move into our neighborhood.
Oh,
And
my
I'm thinking,
goodness.
oh, your husband's a big realtor. He's like, you guys, we couldn't afford that. This was the house. This was the one. He showed us the house, and he said, we're going to get you into this house. And I just said, Lord, if this is the house you want. 7 days later, we made an offer. We've been in that house for 26 years.
Look at the goodness of God.
Every time anything happens about the house, when I got laid off and I was out of work for a long time, I thought we were going to lose our house. And a guy came. I was selling some computer parts, and he came to the house, and he looked at it, and he says, wow, you guys have a beautiful place. This is a great location and everything. And I started telling him the story about how God had blessed us with this house. And when this was the time I was unemployed, I was thinking, God blessed us with this house. Like you said, the blessings of the Lord. He has no regret on that.
No
He will not
repentance,
take it away. And I thought, he blessed us with this house. We're going to stay here. I never missed a payment on that home the whole time, no matter what, anything happened. There was no missed payments. God had blessed us with this house.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly reminded, I am a child of the King.
Amen.
Whatever he wants for me, I get it. No man can close a door that he wants to open.
way.
No man can open a door he wants to close. So if we know who he is and we trust him and we walk with him in that way, we walk with our heads up. We walk with this sense of identity
Yeah.
that says, I know who I am. I walk in who I am.
Yeah.
And if we fall, my dad wants me to get up. He's not going to let me stay here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
get up.
no. And that is why I'm saying that you God is enriched you with so much that it will amaze you, because the Bible also says that your gift will bring you before even kings.
My dad always used to tell
Your
me that.
gift will open doors for you. Your gift will take you to the nation, because pillars, it's not a confined thing. There are broken people, broken young people, broken men all over the world. The thing is, we do not know how to affirm them where they missed.
Yeah.
Some of them, they missed that step when they were teenagers. They never connected back.
Yeah.
Some of them, they missed a step when probably they were in their late age. And you would think that he must be stable now. And that's when they miss that step. And so it is not probably just for those young people, but it's for every male seed.
Yeah.
Every male seed. Because the enemy is after the male seed.
Yes.
If you cut the head, you've got the nation.
Yeah.
You know, if you hit a father in the house, you got the house. If you destroy the pastor in the church, you've got the church. So the enemy is after the head. It's not after the tail. It's not after the body. It's after the head. And so that is why this is to restore headship.
Yes.
Not dignity, but authority
Yeah.
of headship. Because when they find their identity, then they find their authority.
Yes.
And 10, 20 years down the line, you will get letters. You'll get people coming with their families at your door. That time you are an old man. Probably you can't even see them, but you remember the voice. Young man, is that you?
Yeah.
I came to show you my children.
I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will
I
rejoice.
came to show you my family. You know, I didn't even know I've got a factory. You remember? You said I must go and be an apprentice with that man who was doing carpentry. Now I've got a factory. I just want to come and give you something. At that time, you didn't even solicit it. You didn't even know if this person's still alive, but they've been looking for you. And now they find you. At that time, you have raised other young men to take pillars to the next dimension. It's going to rock the world. It's going to rock the world. But it's going to start with foundations laid, as you say, from the Word of God.
Yeah.
And people that come out of there, they will say, I missed this step because I wanted to do it my way like Sinatra. But I realized it cannot be done that way.
Cannot.
I have to come back
I tried that.
to the author of life.
Yeah.
And Jesus is the only one that can reshape, redestine, realign me, and give me that purpose of the beginning.
Right on. We
Where-
do it His way. It's
Yeah.
going to work.
Yeah. Because remember, God, when He first created a man, says, it is good. And the word good, it means whole, perfect, fruitful.
Yes.
But how can Adam be fruitful when Eve is trapped in him? Then God comes and says, it's not good. It's not fruitful for man to live alone. I'll make him a helpmate, suitable for him. And God, the first theater, took him to theater, had an operation done, then took a rib, shaped a beautiful lady. Arts started right there. The first rapper was Adam. When he woke up and he looked at Eve, he couldn't even imagine it. He said, wow, this is this. Bone off my bone, flesh off my flesh. This shall be called a woman. He became poetic overnight.
Yeah.
All this time he was quiet. But and now God, when He looked at Eve, He says, now it is very good. Now the fruitfulness will come to pass. And I believe that these young men, these men that are going to be raised through pillars, they're going to be fruitful not only in the biological way. They're going to be fruitful in purpose.
Yeah.
They're going to be fruitful in economics. They're going to be fruitful in family. They're going to be fruitful in God. They're going to be fruitful in the house of the Lord. And so because why? Pillars reminded them. The only one to sustain a pillar is the pillar itself, Christ Jesus. Man, what an honor. Man,
My brother. Oh man, we are going to be connected for a while now.
Man,
for eternity.
Devin is where you're coming.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm making plans now. We have our mantra set.
Yeah.
There's one thing, by the way, I just want to say I want to do a young men's conference.
Yeah.
That will just be a conference for young men. That will be not what anybody thinks of a conference for men. It will be where we put men into action. And I'm going to be talking to you about that.
We're looking forward to that.
That would be very awesome.
And we will extend this postcard when you come home, and then we will have to get a setup, makeshift studio, and get this thing continuing. Oh, we're going to be online, continuing this conversation.
Very good. I can still do that. I do that with my sons who are in different states. So that works.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. I believe that. Wow. It just flowed.
I appreciate you, man, very much. I want to say thank you to my brother Takalani, who came and just encouraged me in a way that I needed at this time. I didn't tell you this before, but now when I get home, I'm going to show you. You remind me of my father. When he was about your age, you look a lot like him, and it was remarkable for me to hear you say the things that he's always said to me.
Wow.
And so it was like, over the last few months or so, because he's passed away, and there are times that I'd go talk to him, ready with my agenda to tell him, well, this, that, or someone, and he would just talk, and wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise, and his way of telling me things it's like God said, you don't need, listen, and then he would get to the point that I needed to hear. And then I thought it was totally something else. And God has met me, and my dad has done that to me on many occasions. And I sit here hearing your words, and it's like my father is saying, let me talk to you. You need to hear this.
Wow.
So I really, truly appreciate it more than you know. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the honor of just being with you.
Yeah.
Spending these 3 days with you has been just a blessing.
Yeah.
Has been just a blessing, and I'm grateful. If I have to come up to California, just for me to be
In that horrendous way that you got here.
I'm telling you, I will not forget that snow in Dallas. I will not forget. But God got a sense of humor.
He does. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.